Why do I even want to lead? What makes me think I'm qualified to lead? What are the gaps that I have to make me more qualified to lead? What are the failures that I've experienced that can be put to the grist mill and help me become better? What do I have to offer? What do I have to serve? What are my talents, gifts, and contributions? What are my sunshine and shadows? The sunshine being the gift, the contribution I can make, the passion that I've got inside me that I want to apply. But when I take that gift past a certain point and use it too much or obsess about it, what's the shadow that it starts to cast? So it's not strength and weaknesses, it's strengths and overuse of the strength. What happens then? Wow. And being really careful about that self-evaluation.
I think every leader should have 2 words that they focus on based on your strengths and weaknesses. Or as Bill talked about, I love that, based on your sun and your shadows, right? I think every leader needs to have those 2 words, and you need to identify those words quickly. Best way that I know how to do that, the quickest way that I know how to do that would be to ask other people to give you 2 adjectives that describe you and describe their relationship with you, and to take those adjectives and to really think about those, and then for you to take 10 adjectives. If you can do 10 easily, make it 20, whatever the number is, until it becomes very complicated, so that you have enough adjectives out on that page in order to get 3 for yourself. And in this case, I might lower that down to 2. Traditionally, I thought 3, but grab 2 for yourself, and then bank all of those other words, because you may need them later for you, but you will definitely need them later for either you or yourself. Because if you can't think of that many adjectives for yourself, it's going to be hard for you to truly see people. And leadership is nothing if it's not seeing other people and getting them on board with a mission that you both agree is vitally important. And so for me, early on in that journey, the 2 words that I could have used the most were number 1 was trust, and the second word that I would have used was time. Trust and time. Those would be the 2 words that, given enough time, that I was gonna grow, that I was gonna do the things that I needed to, and just to trust myself in that process, and not to think that I was. When I was first getting into sales, my biggest fear in sales was I was going to become this pushy sales guy that did this thing that was going to be. That I was going to be this pushy sales guy that forced people into making decisions that they didn't want. And I couldn't be away from that. And so I didn't trust myself enough to not become that, and therefore showed up as a person who was a lot weaker than I needed to be in order to help other people on the sales side. Well, that same thing happened on the leadership side as well. I didn't necessarily trust myself, and there were times where I questioned my own motives. But the good news is, over time, everything shows out. And if I could go back and I could say one thing, it's like, trust yourself that over time, that you don't have to give up one part of yourself that you really honor and you think is good, which is like your sense of justice and what you believe is right and wrong for others, and how you feel like you should treat other people, in order for you to get what you want, which is success, which is to be able to not have enough money where you don't have to worry about money, go on enough vacations where you don't think about vacations, to live a type of life that doesn't have you thinking about the life that you're living outside of being grateful for it. And so I would just encourage any new leader to pick 2 words and really lean into those, and allow one to be about something that's kind of soft, or an essence of something, how you may show up, like trust, and something else to be hard that you can apply, like time, right? Maybe it's time to do that hard thing that you're avoiding, so you don't lose a bunch of time by thinking about things and not doing them. And if I had to get one message from Bill today, it's keep it simple, be courageous, and dive off the high board. Like, even if you're scared, still dive off the high board, get out of your comfort zone. Where you may need to be is probably not where you are. And that just links right back into what he was saying over and over again. So yeah, that's To me, it's powerful. And quite frankly, as a new leader, don't wait to have the conversation. Don't wait to have the conversation, because something he said really struck me. He said, you could be thinking for 45 minutes, or you could be thinking for 4 or 5 days or 4 or 5 months about a conversation that could last 45 seconds. Right? And where is all that time? That time was just trapped in me wanting to do it right, so I'm perceived in the right way, rather than that time being given to somebody else by having that conversation early and giving them the time to change, grow, accept, decide what they're going to do with that information. And that's such an exciting thing as a leader, to know that you can collapse timeframes with people. Just don't try to be efficient with them, be effective with them, not by having the conversations you always have with them, but setting a baseline of personal care, and then have these highlights of professional recognition or correction.